What is going on, everybody? It is episode 627 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett, and I am here with my co-host, who is back.
Yes.
Would you introduce yourself?
Hello, Crisis Actors. It's Mary. It's true. The rumors are true. I'm back. Yesterday, I was appearing on Megyn Kelly's show, which happens to be premiering right now, so we have some competition.
Bad timing.
Just wait until after the show today to check that one out. But
Yes.
I shared the link on my social media, and you can see it there.
Perfect.
But today, I'm excited to be back. Unfortunately, Phil is not here.
He will be back next week.
Yeah, something terrible happened.
All the way up until he leaves for tour.
We'll
so
leave you on the
Phil-
cliffhanger.
We got a bunch of stuff to get into today, but before we get started, as usual, I have to tell you to please go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. Why haven't you? Really, that is a
Genuinely,
question.
genuine question. Why?
What are you even doing?
And if you have a reason, please tell us why
Yes.
you don't want to subscribe. I want to know.
So do that and share the video with your friends, loved ones, and the people that you hate as well. Because if all of those people then check out the show, they will hopefully share it with their friends,
They're like, this
loved
channel
ones.
is so bad that I'm going to send it to people I hate.
Perfect. That's exactly what you should be doing, guys. So you should go ahead and do that because really getting other people to check out the show is the fastest and best way to help the show grow. So thank you for that. Also, remember, as usual, all Super Chats $20 and over, we will interrupt the discussion. We will read those Super Chats right then and there. Perhaps you have questions about Mary's appearance on Megyn Kelly and you want to ask her directly what happened. You can do that, and we'll answer those questions right then and there. So what are we getting into today? Well, we got a lot to talk about, but number one being that Kim Kardashian, who is slowly but surely trying to become an actress rather than just, I guess, a business owner and a reality TV star.
She gave up on the lawyer thing.
Yes.
She realized she's not going to make it as a lawyer, so she's like, I'm a serious actor.
Well, she was on the Actors what is it? Is Actors on
Actors on Actors, where they just
variety.
Intellectually suck each other's D's.
Yes.
For an hour
Well,
on
I guess
end.
for her it would be sucking each other's titties rather than
I guess
D's.
that's what they do.
Yeah, that would be the politically correct version of that. She is attempting to once again appear relatable to the average person and failing at doing so, but she's also being criticized because she got a slot on this. I guess it's considered to be a pretty big accomplishment to end up on Actors on Actors.
I mean, Rachel Zegler was on it, so
there's limited space.
Yeah, sure.
And they're mad at her because she's not really an actress. You can be in all the American Horror Story episodes you want. Doesn't make you an actress.
She's
So
just not
getting
even
crap.
good at pretending she cares.
So we're going to do that. We're going to talk about the backlash that she is receiving. We're also going to talk about the fact that Brad Pitt, who we just talked about recently because he's got a new movie coming out with George Clooney, he's being essentially disowned by his children. And we're going to talk about it. Yeah,
one by one, they're dropping like flies.
Little by little. So we're going to talk about all of the ways in which that is happening. And then if you didn't watch the YouTube short today or the Instagram, Mary talked about a viral video that essentially asks the question, where have all the good men gone?
Where the good men at? Where they at?
Where they at? So we're going to talk about that. I'm sure you guys have strong feelings on where those
Literally
guys happen to
everyone
be.
does.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We got a bunch of other stuff to get into as well. So Mary, if you're ready, we can just go. You go?
Yes, let's go.
Let's do it. All right. First things first, I have some news for you guys. If you were planning to go see Deadpool and Wolverine, no nudity in the film. And so it's really funny. It's been so long since I've seen the original. I was trying to remember, was it a strip club scene or was Vanessa naked in the original? Because I'm like, was Morena Baccarin naked? Did I just forget about that? Because holy shit. But no nudity in this one. But they're saying that this was not Disney's call, that this was just how they made the movie. One of the things that I didn't like about Deadpool 1 verse 2 and into 3 is, like, really, if you see it, it kind of is a love story. I mean, it's a Reddit comedy infused love story between him and Vanessa. So, and she's in the second one less. So I don't know.
This one is not a romance; it's a bromance.
It's a bromance.
It's being billed
this
as
time.
such.
So it says Deadpool vs. Wolverine is officially secured an R rating. I think Ryan Reynolds referred to it as a hard R, which means it must be pretty
Not that kind of hard
different
R.
hard R.
Different
Yep.
kind.
Yep. He can't talk about stuff like that because he once apologized for getting married at a plantation house. So
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
yeah, that was like the one time he did something even more embarrassing than usual. Like he's pretty good about staying out of those types of things. But it's hard R for strong, bloody violence and language throughout, gore and sexual references. So you'll just get dick jokes
So Richard Linklater is going to be very angry that there are no dicks in the movie.
Too bad. Look.
He thinks that we need to see superhero genitals to save the MCU.
That's the biggest
We
thing.
need to see it.
Long shafts. That's how you save the MCU. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We still got like 2 months before this comes out, right? Or a month?
Oh, it's in
July?
August, I thought.
It's August. Is it
Am
that
I
far out?
wrong?
We already bought the
No,
tickets.
it's in July. It's in July.
It's like July 25th or something.
Yeah.
We like bought the tickets already. So we will be seeing it. We will be reviewing it. And speaking of reviews, before we go any further, I did put up a poll for you, ladies and gentlemen. I asked you if you believe that we should continue to review The Acolyte, because we did go and review episodes 1 and 2. That is up on the channel right now. Came out at 12:30 today. So, yeah.
I'm sure they're excited.
We're sitting at 55% saying no.
No, not again, people.
Yeah, like
Let us hate watch.
I mean, let Mary hate watch.
It's all right.
I mean, maybe what we could do is we could do the thing where you watch it and then I'm like, yeah, and then I just say yeah to everything you said, so I don't have to watch
Yeah,
it.
totally. I noticed that too.
I noticed that too.
Oh yeah, that line of dialogue was the
That
worst.
was bad. It was like the way he delivered it.
Yeah, and then that plot twist, right?
Oh my gosh, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So we'll wait. We will put that poll up at the end. We may not abide, depending on how good the video does today.
If they're just fake numbers again that don't add up to 100, I will not accept the election results.
It is literally always fake numbers that don't add up to 100.
Okay, but if it's that close,
Yes.
nah.
Well, right now it's sitting at
3 a.m. ballots.
54% saying no right now. So we'll
Okay.
wait. But again, if the video does well, we will.
We're gonna do it anyway because we like getting views.
All right, there's a $20 one there from
Man the Conqueror. Mary, all the good men are busy loving Jesus. Love you guys. Brett, no matter what anyone says, you're a heartthrob.
Put that on a shirt.
Why did they need to preface it like,
Nobody has told me otherwise.
no matter what anyone says?
Considering this is not a discussion that actually happens, like nobody's just come up to me like unannounced and said like, hey, by the way, you're not good looking.
I don't think I've seen this discourse going around.
But if that is
thank
the
you
discourse,
for clearing it up.
if that is the discourse that's happening, that's perfectly fine.
The entire internet is taken by storm.
Sovereign Citizen says Brett is thick as F and has great legs. It's a compliment of a lifetime, my friend.
What is going on
I'll
right
put that
now?
on a shirt right now. You know, it's that's me. Now somebody says I'm mid. So you know what? The Brett is mid discourse has started.
What is happening?
We're gonna have a Brett is mid topic one of these days. It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right. I honestly, here's the thing though. I would settle for. I'd be completely happy with being mid. That's perfectly fine with me.
Don't accept less than you deserve. Know your worth, King.
No.
Know your
Knowing
worth.
your worth is just gaslight. All that is now is just a dog whistle for I'm a narcissist. When somebody says I know my worth, it's just a dog whistle for I'm a narcissistic loser.
I made an exception.
Okay. All right, let us move on. We got more to discuss here. So apparently they have the Beatles biopic is in the works, and they have cast all 4.
Yeah. I think I realized that Hollywood found a loophole to still make movies starring white guys. And it's just making a biopic
Yep.
about actual white guys, because then you have no excuse to race swap.
Chalamet, Tom Holland, Austin Butler are all like one of them's doing Bob Dylan.
Well, you've got to be exceptionally fruity in like to make up for the fact that you're white
Yes.
these days.
And those musicians, had their moments. So,
Yeah. Okay. So they have Harris Dickinson playing John Lennon. I had never heard of him. Had you?
No, he's not an actor that I heard of.
We just talked about Paul Mescal the other day. He's
Indie
playing Paul
heartthrob.
McCartney, and I do see the resemblance there.
Okay.
Barry Keoghan as Ringo Starr. Also see the resemblance, but I don't know. I don't get the hype around Barry Keoghan. And then Charlie Rao, I've never heard of him, as George Harrison.
Okay. All right. Look,
I don't see the John Lennon
Here's another
resemblance
one where
either.
I think it just looks like weird John Krasinski
Really?
in this one.
We're going to get into like the hot rodent man trend, but they like 3 out of 4 here are
this
giving
is just,
rodent.
And this is just who's the dude from Twilight?
Which one?
The main guy.
Robert Pattinson?
It's just ugly Robert. It's just.
He doesn't
even
look like
weirder-
Robert Pattinson at
weirder
all.
Looking Robert Pattinson.
He
So,
that actor looks
The-
extremely Irish.
The Barry Keoghan is good casting though.
Yeah.
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 I agree. But Paul Mescal does look like Paul McCartney. He would just need to be younger.
Yep.
But it depends on when they're setting the movie.
It is definitely an ability to cast white guys for.
It's the ultimate loophole.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, the top comment just says it should be Idris Elba for all 4 parts.
That's what all the jokes were. Like, they were like, get another one. Another one was mad that they didn't cast Jack Black in this. But
Look, they did. If they do Cleopatra and they do you just have to wait a couple more decades before you can do the race swap version of a real person.
yeah,
It has to be history and not current.
that's
current
coming
history.
down the pipeline.
Like eventually that's what will happen. Like there's no difference between Cleopatra getting race swapped other than the fact that there's no like pictures.
Enough
other than
time to
just-
forget.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
that's literally what it is. It's like eventually they will shift it slowly but surely, a little bit at a time, and then one day Idris Elba's son will end up playing Ringo Starr.
The biopic about us is going to be very diverse.
I can't
I'm
wait.
sure.
Look, I'm perfectly happy with like, I don't know, who could I have play me? I'll have Denzel's kid. He can play me.
Nice.
Yeah, that's perfect. John David Washington play me in the movie. I'm perfectly happy with that. I have no complaints. All right, this was something we were. Oh no, this is not. Okay, big news.
Your politician crush? I guess not celebrity crush.
Your
political crush.
My one-time political crush back in the day.
Lauren Boebert took a photo with 50 Cent.
So did Mike Johnson.
Where are they?
Um.
Looks like they're in the Capitol,
Yeah.
and I have no idea why he was there or why they took a picture together, but she said, I'd still love you if you flipped burgers at Burger King at 50 Cent. I used to do that myself. Thanks for the photo. Great to meet you.
It's really funny because she's kind of a train wreck with like
Um,
the divorce and the 4 kids and the.
well, yeah.
And he took a picture with Mike Johnson as well. It's she's a train wreck, so it's like
And the
all of this is
fondling controversies.
in the stuff at the theater. It's
Yeah.
just, I mean that, and then like what was the thing that happened recently with Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other lady who were like fighting?
Oh,
in
yeah,
Congress?
they were, like-
and I'm just like, it's funny,
Having a full-on cat fight.
and I used to be like, look, that's funny, but I'm paying for this with my
That's
tax
funny,
dollars.
but women in politics is a problem. Also, if you like click on this and zoom in, I feel like it's heavily photoshopped.
Probably.
I like what happened here. Is
can't-
this
I
even a real photo?
There's a $20 there from Porco Rosso Forever.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Where is it?
Down here at the bottom.
Oh, he said, "Hey guys, Mary, great job yesterday on the Meghan Markle show. I don't know why you guys rag on her so often. She's pretty based."
Different Megan.
Yeah, it's spelled different also. Megan.
Yeah, I
Kelly
don't
has
know
the
how I
Y.
feel about Megan with a Y.
I don't know either.
It's worse than Ashley with 2 E's.
But it's unique.
It's worse than Ashley with 2 E's. It's like, oh, look at me, I'm different. Which is only superseded by Ashley Leigh,
Yeah.
which is Ashley, which isn't even a real thing, but it is.
It's like every
Or Ashley with an I is bad too.
Southern name.
Yeah. Or there's that. It's the meme of like all the women they're in like the vests in the
Yeah.
blue jeans and says if all the
They have
spellings
this
of
the blue skinny jeans with the brown knee-high boots
they're like Uggs
or Uggs,
Yeah.
either one. They have the Patagonia vest or whatever, and then the
says-
beanie.
If all the spellings of Ashley were a photo.
Starbucks in hand. I don't want that race of people to die out. I
No.
want to protect them.
We need them in
need them.
society. You know who they are? They're the ones they're the ones marrying the dudes in finance.
6'5", blue eyes.
Yes. I watched.
They are.
Olivia sent me this unbelievably awful video. Like we were like looking for cringe, and she found this video of like a flash mob of guys doing that at like a train station, like doing like a choreography dance, a choreographed dance to that song.
Were they the
They're apparently the guys.
men in
and
finance?
they're all wearing vests and dancing, and they're all. I don't know if they're. I didn't.
That's the kind of time you have on your hands when you have a trust fund.
Yes, I couldn't tell if they were 6'5", but you know, somebody will have to measure.
Great.
Them. But this is the state of politics these days. Is that like, look, the stuff with what's her name with MTG? I'm just like,
It just seems very insincere.
yeah.
And also, remember when Trump did all those favors for ASAP Rocky to get him out of like, where was he? Like, He was like detained in somewhere
country.
in Eastern Europe
Yeah.
because there was some like gang violence against him. He saved him and brought him back to the U.S. Not a thank you, not even a social media post, nothing from this guy.
I remember the story where it was like Jennifer Hudson, like when somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I could be completely misremembering it. Like her husband died or something, and she was on her own, and Trump like let her stay at his hotel for free for like an extended period of time, and then she like totally threw him under the bus.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter how nice you are to people. People are gonna throw you under the bus if you don't fit into what their narrative is.
That's the thanks he gets.
Yep. All right, it is
No
time
good
to
deed
move
without
on.
punishment.
Speaking of Trump,
Yes.
he is on TikTok. We were going to talk about this yesterday. We didn't end up getting to it, and he's already surpassed Joe Biden on TikTok because you can only make so many videos of yourself crapping your pants at public events before it gets boring.
I saw a video recently of Trump just hanging out with his grandchildren. Very wholesome, and everyone was like, "More of this. We need more of this for your PR
to humanize him."
Humanize him, yeah, exactly. And he's going to be invited to the TikTok Riz party. He's going to get the broccoli haircut.
I love all the photoshops of him with a beard. Chris Bertman had a tweet recently that says, like, if Trump grows a beard, it's over for the libs. And, like, everybody got mad.
He needs a Zyn sponsorship badly.
Him and Tucker.
Yeah. I'm surprised Tucker wasn't offered one, actually.
Yeah. Look, it's weird because when I think of this, I want to see Trump like sitting. Who was it we were talking about recently that was talking about like the guy? It was like some guy who sued the artist he was the photographer for because she was having like sex in the backseat of her.
Oh,
limo.
Megan Thee Stallion.
And he's like she was like forcing me to plan TikToks. Like I want to see what a Trump TikTok planning session looks like.
I mean, he's such a natural star. You really don't need to even plan it. He is content. Like,
Yes.
It doesn't matter what you film him doing. People want to see it.
You
can just kind of project whatever you want onto him.
There was a tweet going around today. I think Tim like reposted it where it's like Trump chicken with like the jailhouse top on, and it's a huge balloon float. And Trump's like, is this supposed to make him look bad? This makes him look awesome. Like, you can't really do that to him. It's very hard to make him look bad.
Yeah, even the whole rumor about the N-word tapes from The Apprentice.
I mean, nobody bought that.
Totally bogus. I mean, even if it's real, you're not going to make me not love him.
Yeah.
Period.
He's already passed. I'm sure this was days old that he passed 5 million followers. So I'm sure
he's way past that.
Past that now. And Biden is over here crapping his pants in public and not being able to really form a coherent sentence, which is.
Is that real?
I mean, look, okay, so I don't know about today, but there was the video from like a couple of weeks ago where he's like walking to Air Force One or something, and he just stops, and everybody's like, any parent knows exactly.
Wait, wasn't there already a rumor about him pooping his pants in front of the Pope?
Is that, I don't know. This wasn't in front of the Pope.
Am I making
This was
that
like him
up?
either walking to Air Force One or something.
He was in France with Macron, and I just saw like Jill Biden shuffling him away from people.
Yeah.
Imagine the stench.
He always, and then everybody has to pretend like it doesn't smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, not good,
because it's
guys.
the president.
Yeah, it's not good.
You know, I just don't see how it's fair that Trump can be on TikTok, but we can't.
Yeah, that doesn't seem fair at all.
Can we get a pardon, Trump, if you're watching this?
I mean, perhaps
pull some strings.
If he gets reelected, he can unban us.
Yay!
Free my boys, PCC.
Please, we need TikTok.
There is some Taylor Swift news.
Yeah.
People will hate this, but she was upset because there was a bunch of people who were pontificating on whether Lady Gaga was pregnant or not.
Well, and her, because
Yes.
there was this video going around of her on stage, and it looks like she's kind of bloated.
I still have that here.
You do?
Yeah.
See, she's kind of bloated in this video. Whatever. It's
Food
not a
baby.
big deal. It could just be that she ate before the show and she's taking some deep breaths, okay? But that went around and people were like, is she pregnant? What's going on? And then the same rumors were going around about Lady Gaga. And Lady Gaga posted about this. Taylor Swift commented, "Can we all agree that it's invasive and irresponsible to comment on a woman's body? Gaga doesn't owe anyone an explanation, and neither does any woman." Kissy face emoji.
Here's the problem. You're right, but other people don't owe you their silence on something they feel like talking about.
Well, especially because it's in the public eye.
You're a public figure.
I don't believe for a second that that was actually written by Taylor Swift. I think an intern was told to comment something like that. That's generally girl power vibes on TikTok, and she had nothing to do with it. But, you know, that's just cringy.
Well, here's the thing. Being a woman in Hollywood or being a woman in the public eye, your beauty plays a big role and, you know, to your popularity. Not all the time, but a majority of the time.
I would say all the time.
It plays a role, right? And one of those things that's always going to come up is partners, dating, and it's just a unique thing. Women also get to benefit from having kids and using it to their advantage in the public eye when they want to.
I really think it's so disingenuous when Swifties complain about how it's misogynistic for people to be interested in Taylor Swift's dating life instead of her music. Mm-hmm. Like, are you going to act like nobody was interested in Justin Bieber's dating life before? Like, it's not a problem of misogyny. It's an aspect of celebrity.
Also, it would be women that would care mostly, not men.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yes, obviously. It's always women who are most interested in celebrities' dating lives. There's nothing misogynistic
Whenever
about
these things come up, I nod and say, oh, yeah, really? Because I have no idea.
That's literally me. Like, I'm the one who does research into these things because I'm nosy and I'm a woman.
Every time Hannah Claire would be on, she would know something about this that I had no clue what she was talking about.
It's deep lore. Okay.
Deep lore. Yep.
So, yeah, that was just cringy, but probably not written by Taylor Swift herself.
Correct. All right, guys. Well, there's more to talk about today. So we talked about Elliot Page not that long ago because Elliot Page had some interviews where wasn't looking good. And now there is new news in the world of Elliot Page.
Yeah. It turns out that Elliot Page is starring in a new nature documentary about gay and transgender wildlife.
Talk about niche.
Like, mic drop. I'm just done. I don't even know what to say anymore. This is where we're at. Pride Month 2024. There is a nature documentary coming out about gay and trans animals, and Elliot Page is narrating it. And this is where her career is at.
Yeah,
at
that's
this point.
The problem.
That's like the really sad part.
When that's
too.
the phone call that you're getting.
Right? Like, that's what you're getting booked for? Okay, great. Glad that you're living your trans joy or whatever. But
it says,
this says Elliot Page is narrating a new documentary about gay and transgender animals, the second gay-themed nature documentary to come along in less than a year. Second Nature explores what the filmmakers call the 1,500 plus animal species who engage in same-sex behavior and parenting, changing sex, forming matriarchies, and more.
You know what it should be called? Actually, the documentary, which is what some stuff like this is used for, much in the way that Matt Walsh was arguing with people about calories in, calories out recently, and everyone says, actually, I've got this rare condition, right? And the point is, the exception is what actually proves the rule to be true for the most part. That's what these things are made for, so that someday you can be like, well, this is actually not how things normally are, and people are like, actually, it is. I watched a document. That's what it's designed for.
So Second Nature introduces viewers to the main characters and themes, a documentary that debunks harmful myths about what is natural. They debunk myths that females are inferior and that being queer is unnatural, following trailblazing evolutionary biologist Dr. Joan Roughgarden as she explores animal species who engage in same-sex behavior, learning from groundbreaking scientists along the way. And this is not only being narrated by Elliot Page is also an executive producer of this documentary. It wouldn't exist without her. So that's telling about the priorities here.
They could have Alex Jones come in to talk about how the frogs are
turning the freaking frogs gay. They're turning the freaking frogs gay, and Elliot Page is teaming up with Alex Jones to talk about it. But here's a description. Did you know that clownfish change sex from male to female? So if Nemo's mom had died in real life, his dad would have become his mom. This sounds like it's made for children, which it probably is. Did you know that the albatross, penguins, and swans parent in same-sex pairs? Or that bonobos, who are just as closely related to us as chimps, are matriarchal and have same-sex sex every day? Wow. I didn't know that. I'm having a Brett moment.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So let's watch the teaser.
Okay, here we go.
I'm really excited.
There are approximately 8.7 million living animal species on Earth. For centuries, we have been told that when it comes to gender and sexuality...
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm just going to pause for a moment. So, 8.7 million species. And this is about the 1,500 that aren't...
Math class is tough.
It is. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, let's continue.
Yes.
All these millions of species follow a certain set
Yes, no, it's still millions because 1.5 thousand is not millions. So yes, millions of species.
of rules. But what if this narrative fails to capture the full spectrum of life's diversity?
You don't make documentaries about 0.5% of something unless there's some type of ideological bend to it that adheres to what's going on in the Western world right now. There is no interest for something like this unless it's ideological. It's not done otherwise.
Go to the minute mark. Okay. That's when they have the more interviews with people.
Gray like goose. Waterfowl are gay. Many waterfowl are very gay.
Not only do many species illustrate homosexuality and gender multiplicity, they also illustrate sex transition, where females change to become males, for example, or males to females. Some can even change back and forth.
Do any of them require surgeons to do
Biologists now
I had the same thought.
sexuality is fluid,
Oh.
and that all of that is normal.
I didn't really want to see an elephant hitting it from the back.
There's endless diversity in nature, and the old stories we've been taught deserve a second look.
Second nature.
that? Okay.
The site includes a link to lesson plans aimed at school-age children with a focus on something called gender-inclusive biology.
Perhaps the idea is that, look, school year's only so long. If you get through the first 8.4 million species, then you can do the rest. Otherwise, it's ideology and has nothing to do with actually caring about
It's
these
just
types of things.
the premise itself doesn't make any sense. You're using other species' behavior as a justification for human behavior. Hamsters eat their young.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that's therefore natural and acceptable for human beings to do?
Very correct. You are correct.
Dogs lick their BH.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, should human beings do that? That's not a valid argument. And I never understood why people always push this one.
Because they're not asked, like you just asked a very simple question.
That doesn't have an answer. And also, seriously saying this with no hate in my heart, I feel so bad for Elliot Page, but that is not a voice that anyone wants to listen to. It's very jarring. When artificial testosterone takes an effect on the female body, it very quickly changes their voice. And it doesn't end up sounding...
it doesn't sound male.
It doesn't end up sounding male. It ends up sounding like an adolescent male at best, or just disconcerting at worst.
Monkeys fling their own poo. Okay.
Should we do that? I actually saw a fight video from a Tim Hortons where someone actually did shit in their hand and throw it at the employees. But we shouldn't do
Mary,
that. That's
that
bad.
happens. That happens in nature.
Oh, it's natural. We should just do that.
We're not we haven't accepted enough diversity in our lives. That's the problem.
You can argue that there's nothing unethical about homosexual behavior. You can go ahead and do that. And I'm sure there are much better ways to do that than showing that like dolphins and penguins do it up the butt or whatever. I don't know.
My point
is.
My point is not to criticize homosexuality or to criticize being gay in any way, as you
It's the motives behind
as you
this.
know. Like, you know that I don't care about any of that crap. I never have. I never will. I care that artificially these things are pushed in a way that is supposed to pretend like somehow they're discovering these things now, things that didn't exist however long ago.
I mean,
nobody's buying that it isn't corporate backed.
These are biological facts that scientists were aware of for decades before this. But it never made us question the binary nature of human beings.
Correct.
Sex. It just it now is being employed ideologically. I mean, that's like pointing to, male seahorses can get pregnant. So therefore we should chop women's tits off. Like, no, just no. I'm probably getting too spicy for YouTube right now, so just hamper it.
I just and I saw the thing recently about like the men who are artificially having their own periods, the trans women that are, having periods.
Oh, incontinence.
Yes.
I think that's what you might be referring to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So just, I have, if anything, I feel worse for Elliot Page for what is clearly looks to be not the path that he was looking to go down. And now you've been pigeonholed into the person who narrates this type of thing when you should be focused on acting roles and what you're going to do.
You
with
went
your
from
career.
Juno to gay transgender wildlife documentaries. Hope you feel good about your decisions.
All right. Let us move on. What would you like to see? Cringe or cute of the day?
We should sandwich it.
Okay.
We should sandwich it.
I posted this on. I wasn't gonna use this for cringe, but Jessica told me that posting this should have made her. This should be a requirement that she could report me to HR because she had to watch this video on Twitter. So I think
some
that
people are going to be disturbed.
Counts as
Fair
cringe.
warning.
Here we go, guys. This is a song.
Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Straight from the pump. Prices keep going up, but I can't get enough.
Beat drop.
Drinking gasoline,
Coming.
drinking gasoline. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Straight from the pump. Prices keep going up, but I can't get enough. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Straight from the
The internet was made.
straight from the pump. Prices keep going up, but I can't get enough. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline. Drinking gasoline, drinking gasoline.
If there's anybody left watching.
It really made me want to drink gasoline.
Didn't it? There's a fantastic song from Outkast called Gasoline Dreams, which they should then remix and put it into this because Outkast is incredible. Yes.
Okay, now we're going to do cute, and then we're going to sandwich it
With the other cringe.
another
Okay, here we go. You're welcome, guys. You should be happy you got to see that. This is from Pigtaku. Says, hey, Brett and Mary. Had to rush Lupin to the vet today because he was screaming when he tried to use the bathroom. Send prayers for the little guy. He had to sit with a catheter for 48 hours. Nothing like a surprise $1.5 thousand bill.
Oh, that sucks.
Well, I'm sorry for that, and I'm sorry to Lupin. Hopefully Lupin is okay.
Not the cone of shame.
Everyone hates the cone of shame.
Poor thing.
It's sad.
Hope he feels better.
Cute cat, though. One more. This one is from Sorenko Productions. Says, timeline cleanse. Kazakh is in desperate need of it today. Here's me finally fulfilling my New Year's resolution of showing more Luna pics halfway through the year.
Snow dog.
Oh! Mocha's in the bottom. I got screwed. I'm never choosing Mocha for the show, but Mocha can appear.
Just a living
Yes,
snowball.
that is adorable.
I love it. cute.
That is very cute. That is a very cute dog.
Kind of giving a coy
That does not
vibe.
count as putting Mocha in the show, though. That does not count as Mocha. It was
You got
photoshopped.
jump scared.
It was photoshopped, and it doesn't count. So,
Mocha
in fact, I'm
jump
gonna
scare
burn this
warning.
episode. I'm gonna actually take this episode down when we're done here today. So that's thanks, guys. Now we're not getting any views today because I have to stand by my principles and not let the cat be on there. All right, we've got another cringe today. Ready?
Harry Potter drill rap.
Harry Potter drill rap from an account that I love called Netflix and Drill. That is a fantastic name for an account. But here you go. This one is actually, in my opinion, more cringe.
Okay.
Youngest try Wizzy. Cedric, are you busy? Cho Jam wanna blow bang on the glizzy. Pesky Pixie waved a fire whiskey. Cho's too busy, so a Snapchat Jenny. 6, 8, 7 stacking bands up in Gringotts. Lumos open the vault when the boy knocked. Ron already said stop acting silly.
It's Hagrid and Harry. Rolly and
That's the best part.
Carry, Nocturne Alley, no valley. French thing in the sidecar. A revoir when I put the long snout in a patty. I'm in the mountains.
Okay, he got the moves.
Wet like a fountain. Sipping half-made wine, think it's tiny as so corn. Got the whole of hogs meat bouncing.
Defendo, Redocto,
Skirt in the benzo.
Accio, Hole,
Cause these crocs need a quick blow.
Aragon,
Rugby,
Gal wanna up me.
back to the hut on her knees like a cowpea.
You're a right foul kid, did you know that? Gilly, we blitzed off the throwback.
Maxine, me and Grog want a double tap.
I should not have said that.
Mischief, straight Gryffindor, savage link with the gang and fang through one eye witch passage.
Now that reads a skeeter, here comes
Wait,
your
but,
feature.
like, why does it
your
slap?
boot to your head, max damage.
Still up under the house coat, now we're inside. Mad eyes, polyjuice got me disguised.
Me and Harry won't shut down the function.
Sorry, Professor, I must not tell lies.
I like that Hagrid was like wearing Air Maxes.
That was just. I've lost the ability to speak.
We're good. We're good, guys. That was fantastic. So we have done the cringe.
Better
for
than
today.
all the Harry Potter movies combined. How can we show this to J.K. Rowling?
We would have to ask J.K. Rowling what her thoughts are on this.
She would probably sue the person who made it.
Probably.
Actually.
All right. Let's go ahead and get started then.
Okay.
It's time to talk about how Kim Kardashian
Yes.
just can't seem to buy her way into Hollywood properly.
Yeah, Kim Kardashian just can't seem to win these days. So she failed at trying to be a lawyer, and now she's trying to be taken seriously as an actress. And she was recently featured in the Variety Actors on Actors list.
They should have done a thing where it's like hers has like quotes around it.
Yeah, probably.
Chloe Savini is actors, but she's just actors.
They paired her alongside Chloe Sevigny, and they had a 45-ish minute discussion that, from what I hear, is just a cringe fest. It's just painful to watch. Because Kim Kardashian clearly doesn't care about acting, doesn't care about movies in general, and is only there to promote herself. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, that's her brand. And Chloe Sevigny posted this very shady link to her video with Kim, saying, "Always nice to be included. Thank you, Variety."
Should we watch the one that says, like, I'm sorry, she just doesn't have couth and self-awareness? Should we watch this?
Yeah, this is one of the clips from their conversation where Kim just comes off as an incredibly out of touch person.
Here we go.
The films that I really love are not going to be sophisticated at all.
That's okay.
I'm with you.
That's okay.
Like yesterday, I was absolutely
Wait, can you go
blown
widescreen?
away, like stopped in my tracks, couldn't believe it. Emergency
Because this
family meeting at
performance
the
from Chloe
movies.
Sevigny is impressive.
My mom had never seen Troop Beverly Hills. Literally, she is Shelley Long. Like, she was our brownie troop leader.
Chloe's like,
She took us to the Beverly Hills Hotel for a night. I mean, it was like her.
Wow.
And we watched it, and she was like crying over the fashion.
Do they
and,
even
like,
have the time to watch
all these
movies?
stores that don't exist anymore? And we were like, oh, we can never drive down in a Rolls Royce in Beverly Hills these days. All the shopping bags out, you'd get robbed. It was like, it was such a different time, and so I love
When you had to drive your Rolls Royce with less caution.
nostalgic movies. I just always have like memories of who I saw something with, or I always loved during the holidays, when the big movies come out and seeing them with everyone. But I'm just like a clueless Notebook kind of girl.
Okay.
And Chloe Sevigny just giving the performance of her life across from Kim, being like, that's fascinating.
Yes.
But it's like, that relatable moment when you're driving your Rolls Royce through Beverly Hills with all of your Hermes shopping bags in it, and you're just trying not to get robbed.
Right?
Like, I totally relate to that, but it's been such a long time since I've driven my Rolls Royce through Beverly Hills. The nostalgia of that. So people were really not fond of this appearance. So I'll just read some of the reactions that people had. This is absolutely dreadful. I wanted to give Kim a chance. I think she's a hard worker, but her lack of curiosity and she just seems out of her depth. It's so difficult to watch. She didn't ask one interesting question. It was like Chloe babysitting, and it was just painful to watch. Another one said, truly, it's such a slap in the face to actual artists in the film industry. The fact that someone like Kim Kardashian can just decide to be an actor on the highest level, but those who put their whole soul into it probably won't ever get to be on Actors, is deeply upsetting. Whoever paired these two together deserves therapy. Chloe is gracious for this.
Who would they put her with, though? That doesn't really track. Like, there isn't really, like, you'd have to find somebody who's equally in a weird position.
Who? I mean, what, like, maybe Addison Rae?
Yeah.
I think that would make sense more than pairing her with like Chloe Sevigny, who is actually like a pretty prestigious name. Another one said, Kim is so dull and robotic and speaks slowly to try to make what she's saying sound more interesting. Chloe is real and cool and charming. And Kim thinks people will be impressed that she's included in this, but it's actually just so boring. But most of these people were saying like this is an insult to every hardworking actor. But I was like wanting to dogpile on Kim and also stepping back and being like, wait, but variety actors on Actors is just their opportunity to intellectually suck each other off and pat themselves on the back for how important and deep they are. And Rachel Zegler being on it is a testament to that, if anything. Her and Halle Bailey complaining about how hard it is to be a Disney princess.
That was a year ago already. That's crazy.
They do this on an annual basis?
I think it's a yearly thing.
Yeah, and it's just not even what it's cracked up to be.
And I don't know who.
I
mean, I guess there are people who like this stuff, but for the most part, the general public doesn't want to see actors be a bunch of dorks to each other and act like what they're talking about is so much more important and highfalutin than everything else that the regular public is doing.
You know what? In defense of Kim Kardashian, I'll echo what you said. She's actually been acting in a persona for the last 25 years. Because she plays a weird version of herself on a reality show. Yeah. And people think it's real. They think that that's what their life is really like. But you'd be surprised at how much of that is just
No, it's
scripted.
not what their life is actually like. Like, I don't even know if I buy that she sat down and watched a movie with her mom.
And before her reality show, she starred in Kim Kardashian's Superstar, which is one of her most famous roles.
Yes.
And since then, she has appeared in Paw Patrol, the Mighty Movie, Paw Patrol, the Movie, Tyler Perry's Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor, Drop Dead Diva, CSI New York, Disaster Movie. She also had a guest appearance in 30 Rock, American Dad, Last Man Standing.
A lot of those, though, she's playing herself.
Yeah. So she really has a reputable.
Look, I find their lives to be more like I find the disparate nature of like being playing a version of yourself actually to be kind of interesting and something worth exploring. Like to actually make a documentary. Like, okay, how is Kim Kardashian on the Kardashians different than the Kim Kardashian when the cameras are off? That's more interesting to me.
Cast Castle is the Keeping Up with the Kardashians of Tim Castle.
I mean, even that is like like pretty different, right? Like you're still playing kind of a
at least when it was a vlog.
Yes,
maybe.
Like to me, like the idea of finding a way to talk about how this persona that you put on differs from what your actual life is like. Because let's face it, as rich as she is and as many businesses as she owns and as much as she does, it's not always easy to make or able to do, like, how do you make a business meeting sound interesting? How do you make signing a contract sound interesting? You can't do it most of the time because a lot of that stuff it's something you can't reveal to the public anyways, because it's like trade secrets and information that's not ready for the public yet. So how does her life as a business owner and an influencer and a mom differ from the fake version of that she puts on TV?
Get your ass up and work.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Kim Kardashian values a hard work ethic.
Again, good advice that's just hard for people to take when it's coming from a rich person.
However, she wanted to follow in her father's footsteps. She failed at the California baby bar exam 3 times and finally passed it. And now she's planning to pass the official California bar exam without going to college or law school. So if she can do that, I will finally believe that she is not the daft robot that she appears to be in all of these appearances that she does. But before that happens, she is going to be starring in a new Hulu show, a legal drama. She's playing the most successful divorce lawyer leading an all-female law firm. A feminist law firm.
How does she find the time? Like, she's a busy lady. I don't even know where she's going to find the time to act in this.
She, I don't know. Maybe they're just using the clone.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We got a $20
clone.
one here from Sean Nemo. It says, I'm pretty sure Kardashian's most recognized movie was the porn video. Yes, well, that's what it was called. Kim Kardashian Superstar.
Yes, and that she is.
That is her most famous role.
There was another clip from this discussion they had where she said she had a publicist who was like, you're never going to be on a magazine cover. And boy, did she prove them wrong by having her mother sell her sex tape.
There's nothing that that women on social media like more than posting a thing where it's like, they said I couldn't do this, so I did it.
I did a thing.
No, that's worse. No, that I did a thing is when you undersell something you've done. It's always like, or the videos is like, women aren't supposed to be doctors, and then it's a clip of a lady like working as a doctor, and I'm like, nobody said women, like, literally that's not something people say.
I saw satire ones that were like, oh, so you think women can't have green eyes?
Yes!
Like it's just shit like that.
Yes, and it's just like, nobody actually said that.
No.
That's not a thing.
No, I don't think that people try to like rag on Kim Kardashian and like go out of their way to hate her.
Rich people
I think she
can't
just
be lawyers.
Genuinely isn't like, she isn't relatable and she's extremely out of touch.
She should make her own version.
But it's
of
like
that.
Not charming in the way that Gwyneth Paltrow is out of touch. It's like she's missing something.
Yeah, she's not owning it.
Is it that?
Yeah.
Is it that she's still trying too hard to be relatable with people?
She should make her own. It's like they said so reality stars can't become lawyers.
I saw one person defend her saying, Kim Kardashian does the most mild shit and you all act like she's Osama bin Laden.
Damn.
Koei70 isn't annoyed or whatever y'all want her to be. There's a reason why she's in the room and y'all aren't. Which, valid point.
Fair point.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's do it.
Shane H. Wilder said, happy Thursday, Brett and Mary. Mary, excellent job on Megyn Kelly. Brett, decent job holding down the fort. Maybe, I guess. JK, it was a good show.
Thank you, Shane.
Wow.
That was
backhanded. Rude. Corey Anderson said, Islam. Should I not say it?
I don't even know what that's.
I don't want to break YouTube TOS if I'm saying something about religion.
I don't know what that is about, so we'll just ignore that one.
Okay. DC&C said, men. Thank you. Share your feelings with a woman or a tree. Should that be our poll tomorrow?
Do that. So that's like the guy's version of the guy's version of man or bear.
I mean, wouldn't a man expressing his feelings to a tree be like making the tree into firewood?
What? Explain that.
You know, like making it into firewood, like cutting it down. And,
okay, I guess that seems less literal than what I feel like I was reading there. Like, I guess I don't know what they took from that. Like, Are they saying
doing like?
Are they saying like talk to a woman or talk to a tree?
I hope that doesn't mean talk to a tree. I hope it means like.
Yeah, I took it as talk to a tree.
Something else.
I took it far too literally.
I would be worried about you if you guys are like talking to trees. Are you egosexual?
Do 2 more.
Shane H. Wilder said, "Argue with a tree. Blue October fans will get it." Okay.
And then 1 more.
Corey Anderson said, "Brett, just do what Mary says. It will be easier."
In relation to what?
I don't know if I told you to do anything, really.
All right. Well, we'll hold off on the rest and we'll come back to it. Let's talk about Brad Pitt because the poor guy's just going through it.
There's a lot of drama going on in the Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt family right now. It seems like Brad Pitt's children are all disowning him one by one systematically. They've had enough of him. And this first came out that Shiloh, his daughter with Angelina Jolie, is dropping her last name. And a report came out that Brad Pitt is aware and upset that Shiloh dropped his last name. He's never felt more joy than when she was born. He always wanted a daughter. The reminders that he's lost his children is, of course, not easy. He loves his children and misses them. It's very sad. Ironically, though, I saw someone point out that he already had a daughter before Shiloh was born. So even that statement is like...
Rings hollow.
It's like basically throwing shade at one of his own children. I believe that they mean he had an adopted daughter before he had Shiloh, who he is blood related to.
Yeah.
But that's like not cool to say that at all. So he already had a daughter. I also saw people reposting this Instagram story that was posted by one of Brad Pitt's children. I think his son said, "Terrible and despicable person. You have no consideration or empathy for your four youngest children who tremble in fear when in your presence. You will never understand the damage you have done to my family because you are incapable of doing so. You have made the lives of those closest to me a constant hell. You may tell yourself and the world whatever you want, but the truth will come to light someday. So happy Father's Day, you effing awful human being." That was his son saying that. I can't believe people didn't like pay more attention to that when it first came out.
Yeah.
But newest development is just yesterday, another one of Brad Pitt's daughters is dropping his last name. Vivian Jolie Pitt has asked to drop Pitt from her name on the playbill of a Broadway musical she's working on. This comes after their other daughter, Shiloh, filed to legally drop Pitt on her 18th birthday. So this is going one by one in a line.
Yeah.
And I assume that he is already not talking to his son. And it just came out as well that Angelina Jolie celebrated her 49th birthday with all of her children at home. And there's this photo of her like smiling and laughing with all of them.
Yeah.
They seem to all have a good relationship with her.
And she's distanced herself from her father as well, from John Voight.
Yeah.
Which is the thing.
That was over like politics, which is just...
Well, I mean, over a longer period of time.
I mean, there could be more to it, but from the outside, it seems like they just disagreed about like Israel and Palestine.
It went long before
Or
that,
it was before that too, which is just not a good reason to cut off a relationship with a family member ever. But, you know, there always could be more to it. But she, you know, from personal experience, seems to see merit in cutting off a parental relationship. And it's a possibility that she is suggesting it to her kids.
Yeah,
and that they're following suit, which could be really toxic. But you wanted me to like recount the story of this private jet altercation that Brad
people
Pitt
might need
had.
some context for this. So.
Yeah. So this came out from Freedom of Information Act release. In 2016, there was an FBI report made on Brad Pitt from an altercation that happened across multiple states inside a private jet. And that's the reason why it had to be investigated by the FBI. It was a conflict between Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt on a private plane and obtained by People magazine. So basically the incident came days before Angelina Jolie filed for divorce from Brad Pitt. He allegedly got verbally abusive and physical with one of their kids while on the plane, and he denied any allegations of abuse. But it's very foggy. The basic allegation is that he got in some kind of physical altercation with one of his children.
Yeah.
And that's obviously not the fault of the child. So I also saw that there were rumors of him being violent on film sets.
Throwing chairs.
Yeah, like throwing chairs. I don't know if any of that is confirmed or not, but this director said Brad Pitt seemed easygoing at first, but he can be volatile. And as I was reminded more than once, shooting began and we took each other's measure. He suggested that Brad Pitt threw a chair at him after he became angry during a particularly difficult scene they were shooting. The director said he could also be bloody-minded and eager to assert control on his film set. And when he was pushing Brad Pitt to reveal more emotion in the scene, he was basically in defense, pushing him to do something he felt was either wrong for the character or different than what he wanted to appear on screen. Mm-hmm. And he threw the first chair. And then he's saying he retaliated after that. But, you know, if outbursts of anger are a common thing for him, that seems to be a problem that a lot of actors have because they're just emotional children.
Yeah, and they're like, you know, it's how they work out the scene.
But that does not belong
with petulance
in your household around your children, correct, or on a private jet or
again,
anywhere.
We can't know whether any of this is actually true or not, or how much of it is true, what percentage is true.
No.
You can only go by the information that you're getting. And right now, the information that we're getting is that his kids seem to be distancing themselves from him. But a lot of people say that they could attribute that to Angelina Jolie trying to turn her kids against him because of the way things are going in the divorce, went in the divorce and stuff like that. So
back when Johnny Depp and Amber Heard were, you know, still in their public trial, people were gearing up to make Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt the next couple feud.
It never really caught on.
And nothing ever took it, like nothing ever came and took the place of that like cultural moment. Nobody actually did replace it. Unless maybe you could argue Evan Rachel Wood and Marilyn Manson in like Me Too controversies. But you know, maybe that will happen later on if we find out more, but it's just, you know, it's very uncommon for decades, and it's fine. They seem to be able to do that.
None of the public spotlight that poisons them against one another and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
they seem to just never be able to make it work.
Yep. And look, a lot of people in the chat, if we were to take a poll of the chat right now, like most of them seem to believe that Angelina Jolie is the problem. Again, I can't, since this is, again, it's similar to Me Too claims. It's second and third hand accounts and it's hearsay, and you can't really truly know. You can only know what solid facts you have, and that the kids seem to not be happy with their dad. But like I said, it's not uncommon for one spouse to turn the kids against another. So that's a perfectly reasonable hypothesis too. Not
just a high profile one like this. And the reason why I do find that believable is just because, you know, Angelina Jolie cut off contact with her dad.
And look, and she's also heavily an activist, and she's kind of nutty and all that stuff. So that fits to it too. But I can't know. I can't know for sure. We could do that as a poll, but we have a poll up already today. Perhaps we'll have to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll have to wait and see.
So we're going to ask you if you want to express your feelings to a tree or a woman.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. So Super Chats.
Stefan Buttle said, Brett, you have amazing calves.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
That used to be like a big thing, right? Like that was a big sign of attractiveness for men centuries ago.
Well, what can I say?
As well as like big foreheads for women. Like receding hairlines used to be very attractive on women for some reason. Porco Rosso Forever said, but seriously, great having you back, Mary. The demon in Brett really comes out when you're gone. Is that true?
No, that's patent.
Were you
false.
being demonic while I was not
I was being
in here?
Perfectly kind and friendly yesterday.
Okay, I guess I'll have to take your word for it. Shane H. Wilder, I figured it out. Biden can't speak. It wasn't Corn Pop. It was Corn Poop who was a bad dude. He was just saying he ate corn and pooped himself.
Thank you for that visual. I really needed that.
Great.
Yeah. All right.
I always thought that Corn Pop was like Biden's alter ego that he like
with like
villainized,
either dreadlocks or cornrows.
Maybe he's like the gangster persona, and like
Corn Pop. He
dissociates and he comes back. He like reanimates.
That
as
became
Corn Pop.
Dark Brandon.
Is it? Well, then there's also Dark Brandon. So we have like a whole set of characters that he can turn into.
Let's do one more.
Boosted Yogi said, looking like a dime piece, Brett. Mary, your hair looks nice. Thank you.
Everyone's coming to my rescue today, making me feel better about myself. Thank you.
Nobody insulted Brett. Was that happening?
It's perfectly nice. All right, let's move on. It's time to have this discussion because, what it is I waited to watch these videos until we do this now. So, yes,
okay. I'm excited to see your organic reaction.
Okay, so I've waited to watch these. Tell everybody what we're about to watch.
Yeah, women can't seem to find the good men that they are looking for, and this is now a phenomenon where constantly we are seeing women on TikTok whining about the fact that they're single. They can't make it work in the modern dating world, and usually they blame the men. And this girl in particular went viral because she made a video saying, it seems like we have a shortage of eligible males out here for marriage. And let's just hear her out first before we make any pronouncements.
Watching, right? Okay, here we go.
Yep.
I'm not sure why nobody wants to speak up about this, but I guess I'll be the one to do it. There is a serious shortage of attractive, eligible, mentally stable, emotionally available men. We need to get a search party together, figure out what has happened, where have they gone. I'm not sure why nobody wants to speak up about this.
That was it.
Look, everybody's speaking about this all the time, so she's wrong about that part.
Yeah, I've definitely seen like a million videos
by the way,
like this.
She looks exactly like a Sutton. So
like a what?
It says the channel name is Sutton.
Oh,
she looks exactly like a woman.
That's her name.
Yeah,
okay.
She looks exactly like a woman named Sutton.
Yeah. So, what's your first reaction?
Look, emotionally available is never a good argument here because no guy is going to agree with you that that's what you want.
The way she worded it was definitely a red flag.
Yes.
Like, I don't even understand what emotionally available means. Mentally stable, the fact that you have emphasized that suggests that you are already attracted to mentally unstable people, and you've been burned in the past because you're attracting crazies into your life. So that's a red flag too.
I tend to believe that when people make videos like this, you're a victim of your own echo chamber in life experience, meaning like just because this is true for you doesn't mean that it's true for everyone else, right? Now, there's an argument to be made that she's right because some of the most popular content on the internet now is anything that pits the sexes against each other.
Definitely, but okay, would you agree with me that the absolute state of men and women has kind of never been worse?
Yes, I mean men and women to get
in general, everybody.
Okay, look,
like the average male and the average female, just like have never been worse in history.
Look, I
like personality wise.
Probably. Look, I'm not going to pick one side over the other because I think whenever these things come up, everyone's eager to blame the other side as the one responsible for it. I think men are disenfranchised because society tells them that they don't need them, and women have been weaponized through narcissism because of social media and the groupthink that permeates from that culture. So both are not handling their burdens well, and it hurts the relationship between the sexes. But like, I think a lot of it is that all of this behavior is heavily influenced by social media, and everyone on there wants to make sure that the other side is held responsible for all of the problems that are going on today.
Right, which is never going to happen.
And it's not the truth. It's at the end of the day, there's that phrase again, everyone is responsible for making the world a better place in their own corner of existence. And to blame all of it on the opposite gender is a bit, I don't know, lazy.
It's pointless, and it also is shooting yourself in the foot because, I mean, people rarely talk about this, but in dating, you really only need to find one singular person. We're not talking about all females on the globe or all males on the globe. You're looking for one.
There's a $20 one here from Sean Nemo, says she probably can't find emotionally stable men because she only dates liberals. Well, then
that could be a factor.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I think that this means, you know, if you're emphasizing that, you have been with plenty of mentally unstable people, and there's something about you that attracts that energy.
Let me do the if I was to assume what her argument, what the men's arguments would be against her, would be that her standards are too high for what she considers attractive. So she's got too high standards, and very likely the men she's dating, like you said, aren't the picture of well-adjusted anyways. But that does not mean, just because that's what you've chosen to surround yourself with, does not mean that those men don't exist. It's very possible that she finds those men boring and unattractive.
Definitely. I mean, you probably shouldn't be with someone that you're not physically attracted to, because they wouldn't want to be your last choice. Like that sucks.
So this is a prison of her own making.
Definitely. Yeah. Let me take an opportunity to rag on like everybody though, because men are really wimpy these days. Like, and this is just scientific. Like, testosterone levels have never been lower. They are plummeting at terrifying rates. Men in their early 20s today have testosterone levels that are lower than like men in the silent generation, as in like elderly years. Like, something is in the water. I don't even know, but that's an unfixable problem. A problem nonetheless. And they're socialized to be really wimpy and feminized.
I think that's the even bigger crux of the matter.
It's both in conjunction, like, and it's very unattractive to women, obviously, just on a biological level. And it makes them hysterical. So now women are also worse than they've ever been, because they're like actually in a state of mass hysteria. They're on cocktails of pharmaceuticals that make them insane. So they're on birth control, they're on SSRIs, they're walking around in a state of phantom pregnancy all the time. And I mean, just look at them. They're like guzzling wine and screaming and hooting and hollering. They got fat hanging over their jeans, and you know they're showing their tits all over social media, and you know it's just women these days are trashy, and everyone kind of sucks. Like, the average person in the dating pool,
the people who
kind of sucks.
Here's the thing, though. This is they're speaking to people who are the only people who are going to see this are the people that are whose existing lives have the same problems, because it's a social media problem too. Meaning the ones who don't sit all day on social media, definitely the ones who do not post all day on social media. And I would never be attracted to someone who felt the need to make this type of discussion. I wouldn't.
I think you're speaking for a majority.
The majority, like I'm instantly not attracted to someone who wants to get in front of a camera and make this type of point all the time online. It's extremely unattractive to me.
That's me.
There you go.
I make points online.
Well, no, but the thing, like, no, social. This is different than social media. Like, even that, like,
yeah, it is my job.
Yes, like that's not the same thing as doing this on social media just for the sake of complaining.
For the sake of getting validation, really, to have other people repeat back your own opinions at you. And where it really rings hollow is the fact that in these women's actions, it tends to be that they're rewarding men for treating them like prostitutes, basically.
Let's watch the clip that you're talking about, of
Okay.
course, because this is what we're referring to.
I just got home to 2 different floor arrangements from 2 different guys. Is either one of them from the guy that I slept with and told all my friends about? No!
Okay. Does that not tell us everything we need to know about these hoes? Like, you are complaining about, I mean, I know it's 2 different people. They have totally different life experiences, but you get the mimetic energy we have here. Women complaining about how there are no good guys around. Well, they're literally banging down their doors, sending them floral arrangements, and they're sleeping with the guy who refuses to commit to them or acknowledge them anyway publicly.
Rules for Brad, but not for Chad.
I mean, it's so like internet buzzwords, but mimetically, you see the seed of truth in it all. And it's frustrating to watch. It really is. I know that we can do better than this.
Look, and to me, the idea of mentally stable doesn't scream to me when somebody is posting about, like, there's this addiction that women have for posting their L's online that will never be attractive, ever. It will be instantly unattractive.
Yeah.
That's another way in which like talking about this differs from talking about it from a third party perspective, and analyzing what it means is a lot different than somebody who's going to open up about these horrendously embarrassing stories about their private life that are very, very personal.
Yeah. But there's a difference between being overly vulnerable online and posting your L's thinking that it gives you bragging rights. Yeah. Like acting like it's everybody else's fault that you're failing at life. The epitome of this, TikToker complains that she is very single because she's pretty and smart and men are terrified of her.
We've got this one as well.
Know your worth, queen. That's the message here.
Here's the video.
What do you mean you don't have a boyfriend? You're so pretty. What do you mean you have 0 men in your phone? What do you mean you've gone 8 months without... What do you mean? That makes no sense. Yeah, well, combine pretty with intelligent, strong, successful, slaying at life. You've got a very terrifying woman on your hands. A very not easy woman on your hands, right? Men don't like that.
What that means...
This is the worst thing I've ever seen.
What this means, ladies and gentlemen, is that she's annoying and she's bitchy and she's controlling.
I really hope this is just the persona that she uses on TikTok and it's
but
not
again,
how she acts.
That's the problem. That's the problem. The persona.
Oof. Okay.
That men do not like me. Men are very, very terrified of me. And the men who do like me, the ones that are attracted to me, are unavailable. Men who are in relationships actively. And uggo weirdos.
Okay,
because
just
at the end
fact
of the day,
that you're willing to call them uggo weirdos speaks to your personality.
Maybe you could say that in private to like your close friend.
I am not a real human because of the pretty and scary. So yes, babe, I'm alone. I'm very, 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 very single.
Ew.
That is among the most...
Give me the EBGBs.
Whatever. Let them figure it out for themselves.
Let them eat cake.
Yeah, I have no interest in solving... I don't even...
Wow.
Just no. I don't care.
It depends on... Like, this is a whole genre of videos of just... women in their 20s and maybe 30s sometimes just complaining about how they can't find a man. Some of them evoke pity from me. Others evoke disgust and anger. Yeah. And that was the disgust and anger vibe. Yeah. But some of them, genuinely, I believe that they're like, they don't know what to do. They don't have anyone to open up to. They can't figure it out because society is not structured in a way that facilitates people making real connections
It
anymore.
rings to the same reason why I find a lot of the things that people have whenever they have the strong independent woman conversation in movies and television. It's got nothing to do with her being strong. It has to do with whether she's bitchy and snarky. Normal people, well-adjusted people don't like snarky people who put on a persona. But unfortunately, social media rewards snark. That type of persona, that's what gains traction and followers because it speaks to the worst aspects of ourselves. Now, when she makes a video like that, a person who maybe has a side of them that is snarky, but is not inherently snarky all the time, identifies with what they just watched. But they don't bring it into every conversation and aspect of who they are. It's just speaking to a tiny part of them that comes out when they're alone and watching stuff online. Yes, I feel that way. But that doesn't mean you carry that with you everywhere. But
sometimes they do. It slowly
what I'm saying is
trickles
some, but not all.
into your psyche.
You gain those followers by speaking to the worst aspects of a person's personality. Both sides do this. That doesn't mean that all of your followers are innately like you. It just means that you've found some part of them that to identify with and latch on to. Unfortunately, then, that small part of us is what's represented to everyone through social media. Yeah. And that's not healthy. Which is why I would never be attracted to anyone that wanted to post online constantly and discuss these types of things. It's just at least on social media.
Yeah. So. But overall, I really just feel like the the pool of marriageable people, period, men or women, is shrinking.
Yeah.
And
look, I don't know if that's true or if the people that are well-adjusted just aren't on these platforms, so you don't know it exists.
But you can see statistically, marriage rates are dropping. And
yes.
It's because it's not any of those marriageable people's fault, but there are a lot of circumstances and in the way that society is structured now, it's not something that is it's not a behavior that is rewarded either. It's also looked down upon. You have entire like social contagions of divorce. Divorce tends to happen in waves in social circles, and there are a lot of factors that go into it. But I think that overall, like, both men and women are not. They're not giving what they're supposed to give.
Somebody said, says the person whose job it is to be online. Yes. Different rules for...
Keyword is job.
Yes. And I don't talk about this stuff on my private social media or anything like that. And most of the time what we're doing is we're analyzing social trends and things that are popular either on social media or going on through Hollywood. And very little of it is coming about my actual personal experience.
We got a $20 real quick from Debbie Nanners. Hold on, is today cringe day or something?
Yes.
Because every segment has been cringy AF. What is wrong with people?
And look, and there's nothing wrong with like if somebody is attracted to what they're watching in these clips, that's their business. But
I'm sure what
we're finding is that according to them, they're not. Right? No one's saying you don't have a right to be attracted to that person. I'm just saying that if people aren't, maybe there's a reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you tend to see men making videos about how we don't have livable wages these days. It's more so women who are making these videos about the dating world.
Well, and I mean, men have their own. Men do have MGTOW, and men have the red pill movement. They have their own. Every group has their own sphere to talk about these things, where they then list off the problems that the opposite gender is causing for them, so that it can offload. And I'm not speaking to anyone here in the chat, but you go down in the comments and you will get 1,000 theories that all have to do with how the opposite gender is the problem with all of these things. But the fact of the matter is, it always comes down to both people have a role to play in this. And all those problems may exist. What are we going to do to fix it in our own lives? That's all you can really focus on.
I saw comments saying, video games are never going to leave me, but a woman will. And it's like, okay, but a video game is never going to give you what a marriage could give you.
Correct.
And
aspire to more. You
make trade-offs and you take risks in life. And I don't know, people are just losing faith in I guess, like, humanity and in themselves and in God. And like, I think most importantly in God, because that is the entire foundation of what marriage is, or at least what it used to be.
I tend to think that even if you're 99% sure that all the problems in the world are caused by someone else, one of the best things you can do in your life is to take radical responsibility for your own situation, because that's all you can really do anyway.
I love Navy SEAL Brett.
You cannot use those excuses as a reason for why your life isn't working out, even if it was true, because it will leave you miserable and out of control of your own life. The best thing you can do is to take responsibility, to change all the things you can about yourself to bring about a better outcome. Because even if you don't succeed 100% at what you want, you will feel better for it because you actively made attempts to change. I don't buy that anybody says, I'm perfect the way I am, everyone else is the problem. Everyone can improve in some way, shape, or we all
If you
have
say
to.
that, you're delusional.
We all have to. Like, I've had to make drastic changes in my own life, especially in the last 5 years, to get from what was essentially hell in a point in my life where I did feel that way. But I never thought that, like, I had the benefit of knowing that my problems were of my own creation, that I had created my own issues in life that I needed to solve. So I didn't have the luxury of trying to put that off on society. You could blame society that drugs are as prevalent as they are. Yeah, well, you chose to take them. You chose to get addicted to stuff and throw years of your life away. And now that's nobody else's fault that you're in a place where you don't have a good job, you're not living a good life, nobody would want to be with you. Sure, you could blame somebody else for being shallow, or you could make an effort to change your situation. So, I don't know.
Good message, Brett.
All right, let us go to Super Chats, and then we'll just hang out. Perhaps people want to argue with us about this. I saw
Feel
people
free,
yes,
I
feel
guess.
free. Let's do it.
Whatever
All right.
you have to say it. But you have to pay to say it. Hiroshima Otaru said, left out part where Nemo would spawn with dad/mom. Oh, is that a thing clownfish do?
I did not know that.
Okay, yeah, we shouldn't do that because we're not clownfish. We are human. Shane H. Wilder said, I did the math. 1.5K of 8.7 million is only 0.01724%.
That's worthy of a documentary.
But it's a community.
Yes.
Squibs said, it's brainwashing for an agenda. Brainwashing. Just an extra brainwashing.
With an extra brainwashing lumped in.
On the side. The Rumbling said, David Attenborough or Snoop Dogg narrating animal videos is awesome. This sounds like a feminist smoker complaining at the bar. It's true.
I do love that Snoop Dogg has essentially accomplished life, and he's just kind of doing weird side missions for the rest of his existence because he's got nothing better to do. Like
we hope he doesn't go back to gang activity.
I just I love Snoop Dogg. He's hilarious.
He's
I do find that the him and Martha Stewart thing to be like the most like Hollywood, like, oh my God, look at this. Aren't they an unlikely pair of friends? Hayuk, like, look at them. But
doing the do-si-do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's extremely manufactured. Mr. Joker said, what is more likely to happen on PCC? Justice for Mocha or Mary finally remembering the Astro Boy boots?
Look, Justice for Mocha technically happened today by accident.
Well, true. But when Brett mentioned the boots,
yeah,
I actually screamed because I forgot again.
You'll remember them. You'll get to it.
I swear I have them.
They are there.
They exist. Okay. Shane H. Wilder said actors on actors seems like a circle of jerks. True.
That's a good point.
Completely true.
They should have there should be like another version of this for like just kind of like mean comics called Circle of Jerks.
Isn't that just like Bobby Lee's podcast?
Yeah. That's
Sup, my dude said, I have a love of classical Hollywood. Reading old interviews, stars from back then sounded so much more eloquent and charismatic compared to the stars of today. Hearing Kim gives me brain cancer.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that people sounded so much more eloquent back in the day, that the language just hadn't deteriorated as much?
They were better educated. And when you're around people with a bigger vocabulary, because you're well educated,
by today's standards, I would imagine
you absorb it by osmosis. People have read like these letters that were written by teenagers who were in World War I. And it's like poetry. And it has to be the quality of literature that they were reading, like what was still considered part of the American canon, and just better education overall. Like it has to be. But the thing is
right? Now they're all going to college. Now they're all like,
but they're not reading.
The education has just deteriorated.
They're not reading. They're reading instructions. They're reading.
Yeah, they're better educated, but
tweets.
They don't know as much.
Like, yeah, exactly. You get more and more degrees and less real enrichment. High Voltage 75 said, not surprised Angelina Jolie turned her kids against their father, knowing her poor relationship with her own father, John Voight. It's all her fault.
A lot of our chat seem to be on that node that they think that it's all her fault.
It's definitely something to pay attention to if she already, is pro cutting off family members.
That's one of my biggest problems with today is just this eager desire from people to just cut their family off because they don't agree with them 100% about everything they believe.
But it's also immature on the part of John Voight to be publicizing their stupid political disagreements.
Yeah, okay, so John Voight did this video where he talked about like
my daughter doesn't
wrong.
Understand the honor of God and why
I would have left that out.
Like
I wouldn't have
Israel,
done that.
Blah blah blah. I don't even know what he was saying, but it doesn't matter because why are you involving your child in stupid political drama?
That video is cringe.
It's just, yeah.
What is this? Saturnarian Lotus says TV made us stupid. Honestly, yes. Like one of the things that I say a lot of times when I talk about the script writers of today and the script writers of years past is the script writers of today grew up on television and movies, and the script writers of the past grew up on high literature. So there was a better reverence and understanding of story structure and of that type of work than there is today, where it feels like they're writing scripts for television and movies rather than writing something that's classically good and then adapting it later.
Yeah. We got a 20 from Ditto Gonzalez. Money and life are separate, and there are many things that you can live without. Not that we have to, but it should be noted, I guess. Shout PCC. I don't know if that's a command, but
that was eloquently phrased.
Yeah.
Look,
what prompted that.
Oddly enough, some of the most mentally stable years once I got sober were the ones when I was in the most financial trouble. But like I was making just enough money to survive and get by. I had a job. I was making my rent, but barely. Could afford food, but barely. But I had time to myself. I was skating every day. I was physically in a very good place. And good physical health tends to lead to good mental health because you're occupying your brain and your body. And that was not sustainable long term. Eventually, you're going to want for more, whether that's family, relationships, a better job, all of these things. And now I'm in another place in my life where I've got all of these other things, good job, stable, very, very happy relationship, all of these things. And I look back at that other time fondly, but to go back to it, however much mental stability there was there, or however much peace of mind I had, would still be a step backwards. Does that make sense?
Mm. And you may have more mental stability now without knowing it in the moment, for sure. Wyatt Kaldenberg said, Mary, you and Brett look good on PCC with colorful backgrounds, but Mary, you are so fair-skinned, never go on TV with an all-white background again.
So you should, you should get some lights for you got like a little area at home that you record, right?
Yeah, well, I had lights behind me, but they told me to turn them off.
Did they?
Which I didn't expect. It looked way different after that, but yeah, I tend to look ghostly.
You should have said, no.
I could have, but I didn't want to be rude. I'm not on my own channel, so. Hiroshima Otaru said, remember Jolie tried to trans their daughter. Is that true?
I thought one of them was.
I know Shiloh used to go by a different name, and she used to wear suits and stuff like that, but since she like grew out of that, I assumed it was her idea. Hopefully.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Corey Anderson said, this needs to be rectified. Brett has a wide head.
Is it just the headphones, or do I actually have a wide head? I have no idea.
What do you mean this needs to be rectified?
Somebody, because the people were being nice to me, so he's got to be mean to me. There was what was the one that I, so like 2 weeks ago, somebody made a comment about my eyes being really close together, and that one got me. I was like, that's an insult that I've never gotten before.
But
so
the AI told you that.
No.
The AI engine that you put your face in, the incel dot whatever.
Oh yeah, but like chat was saying it too. Not connected to that episode. Like it was like on our Mr. Burcham video about my eyes being really, really close together. And I had to laugh. I'm like, yeah, if me and Anya Taylor-Joy had a kid, the eyes would be perfect. They'd be like right there in the center because hers are far apart, mine are close together. That's fine. Embrace your flaws, ladies and gentlemen.
Know your worth.
No, not that. No, don't pretend like you don't have flaws. Embrace them and just accept that you're not perfect.
I'm just going to keep saying know your worth.
Know your worth.
Just to annoy you. Shane H. Wilder, thank you. Okay. Shane H. Wilder said, I mean, if you want me to insult you, Brett, I can.
I always feel better after somebody puts me down.
Don't add fuel to the fire.
The point is to not let yourself get a. Luckily, I always had low self-esteem. So if you do something where people say nice things about you, then it ends up leveling out right in the middle there somewhere.
Serenko Productions said, thanks for showing Luna and Mocha, Brett. Of course, it was during the show I showed up later to LOL.
It's okay. You got to. That's what the replay is for, my friend.
Shane H. Wilder said chick has psycho eyes or she's having a stroke.
Could be.
Which one?
Could be both.
Maybe all three.
Yep.
Super Dank said, is it me or does that slay life chick look and have the personality of Dylan Mulvaney?
Which one was the Slay Life chick? Was that
The third chick.
chick?
In her car. Yeah. So I think there's like some sort of behavior starts with black women and then gay men start acting like black women.
Okay.
And then white women start acting like the gay men. And it's like this never-ending cycle.
Keeps circling back around.
So maybe that's why you think she acts like Dylan Mulvaney. Shane H. Wilder said, what smells good? Oh, Brett is cooking.
Perfect.
Love that. Dr. Larsena said, so what you're saying, Brett, is that no raindrop blames itself for the flood. Never heard that before.
Sure. Perfect.
Kanye West is the GOAT said, Brad Pitt is praised by every coworker for every film he's done. Those articles are BS. What's your favorite film of his? By the way, mine is Fight Club, of course.
Oddly enough, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
I don't really like Brad Pitt, but Interview with the Vampire was good.
There you go.
Corey Anderson said, Mary, just post a cute pic in the boots. Done.
Well, the promise
no, but
was
the
to do it
point
on
was
the show,
to have it like
show.
On the PTZ shot, so I can't really do that. Daniel G sent us $15 without a message.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. John Bert said, ha ha ha, yeah, maybe kind of close, LOL.
What was that in reference to? My eyes?
Your eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
A serious man said, World War I era colleges were propaganda and war recruitment centers. How many brainwashed students today are volunteering to go to war?
Well, I don't know about that, but I can tell you about the war that Raytheon is about to put on. Shall we watch Cities by Diana really quick?
The
clip?
Oh, the Pride Month thing? Okay, yeah. Yeah.
This is the new age of propaganda, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have to enjoy this.
It's Pride Month, cucks. Do you know what that means? Here at Lockheed Raytheon, we are locked and loaded to serve cunt in every color of the rainbow. Whether it's our classic Leather Daddy surface-to-air missile systems, lipstick lesbian F-69 fighter jets, or our new Stonewall drones, operated entirely by a staff of bisexual non-binary pilots from our secret underground bunker in the Castro district of San Francisco, the good gays over at Lockheed Raytheon have you covered from head to toe with the fiercest arms in all of NATO. Our clients will rest assured knowing that their homes were destroyed by ethically sourced, non-GMO munitions, each with their own uniquely assigned set of neo-pronouns. But before we can bring rainbow freedom to underserved communities far away, it all starts with a dream. This is Sock. They're our Portland-based Vice President of Research and Development.
Thank you, Jojo. At Lockheed Raytheon every June, we are proud to show off what real American progress looks like. That's why I'm excited to announce our new laser-guided tactical glitter bombs. Before hitting their target, they play an eclectic selection of queer hits like Born This Way by Lady Gaga and Girls Like Girls by Haley Kiyoko, unleashing a storm of rainbow fury on any unsuspecting terrorist. At Lockheed Raytheon, our products put the slay in Slay Queen, but you have to act fast because these deals are only available during the month of June. Don't miss out.
I kind of love it.
She's undefeated.
It's Pride Month, cucks.
Cities by Diana never misses ever.
Never.
Ever.
We stand.
She literally
even
says,
though she would hate us.
She says, I'm afraid to post this on TikTok or YouTube because I think I'll get canceled from both sides. That's good. You're doing it right then.
That is a good sign.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Drone wall.
Where were we?
Stonewall. Drone wall.
High Voltage 75. Mary, I don't like discussing politics. I go on IRL and have nothing to say. Tee-hee. Also, Mary goes on famous political commentators show to discuss political stuff. Well, I don't choose the topics that we end up talking about on that show. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, if it's a show of that size where I can get that level of exposure, I consider it worth it. And I'm not going to like tell someone else what they should cover. And we got to talk about female rage for a good amount of time.
There you go.
So I consider that a win. Corey Anderson said 99% of the population is better looking with clothes on. There is a catch-22 for men. We like breasts, but the women showing them are not ideal partners.
Honestly? Yes.
That's so real.
Yes.
Zach Yandel said, the writers of today and the writers of yesterday always sounds like a cop-out. Sorry, I think it's far more the low standards and indoctrination. He disagrees with your take.
Okay, let me rephrase. The good writers still exist, but they're not getting the work. Perhaps, is what you're saying. What Hollywood wants right now is a certain type of script, a certain type of movie from a certain type of writer, and the ones who are writing those pieces that are still good just aren't getting the same amount of work as the ones who are making art for the lowest common denominator.
If I had to guess, I would think there is an absolute lower number of talented writers.
I don't think it's
today.
lower. I think that there's more writers and the same good number exists, but in the larger pool of writers, the good ones aren't getting the work.
Why is that? Why are there so many?
Why? Because more people are choosing this as a career because now Hollywood is seen as something to aspire to.
Ugh. Gross. Joe T said, another guest suggestion, Justin Wang.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like maybe I didn't reach out to him before. But yeah, I will check that out and see if I did. Shane H. Wilder. Mary remembers the boots and the show gets canceled.
That it'll happen one day, the power will go out on the day you remember the boots.
Crap. Maybe it's a sign. Corey Anderson said, men rarely get compliments. When they get too many too quickly, other men are required to rag on them and return them to factory setting. It is a PSA.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes. Yeah.
You have to insult your friends 10 times more than you compliment them.
One of the things is it's kind of this job means that you're a little bit more in the public eye than the average guy. So it's not really the same thing as somebody who's just living their life. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. Again, another reason why I would never want to be a major public figure or anything like that. It's just, I'm happy to take the insults, guys. It's perfectly fine.
Are you getting emo about it?
I'm getting emo about it.
We don't want that.
There's one more.
High Voltage 75 said, I know it's good exposure for PCC, just teasing.
It is definitely good exposure. So
I'm definitely not good at talking about politics, though. I can.
Yeah.
Because I feel things about politics. I just don't think things about politics, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you know what you think, you know what you feel about it, but it's not always easy to put it into words.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens a lot.
Guess
to
I'm
me.
just set in my ways. But I don't have what's your take on the Trump trial?
Well, I don't. Here's the thing.
What?
For me personally, back in the day, I would have had more takes because I would have consumed more media talking about it, which would have allowed me more time to sit with my own thoughts and all of these other people's opinions and then formulate my own. Now it's just kind of that's not what we focus on. So whatever my take would be whatever my first thought is, which is rarely your best foot forward. Rarely is your first thought on something the best foot forward for you if we're talking about nuanced political discussion that requires more forethought and research into what's going on.
Thankfully for that segment, it was just Trump is on TikTok. What do you think? It wasn't foreign policy discussions and legal stuff. I can't really voice any takes on that. And even if I wanted to voice my political takes, to be honest, it would be way too controversial.
Yeah.
I just don't even want to go there.
You'll have to make your own OnlyFans for political content where it's just the hottest
Mary's
takes.
schizo rants.
Yes.
Because I can go there, but I don't know if everyone's ready for that conversation.
For me, it's I would always joke. I was look, if you need somebody to fill in on IRL, I'm happy to do that. But
it's what's the point?
What's the point? I'm if you need somebody
us on Elijah Schaefer's episode.
If you need somebody to tell you that all politicians are inherently corrupt and evil by the nature of the industry and that the media is evil, I can come and do that, but there's more eloquent people who can tell you the same thing.
But that is kind of the bread and butter of that show.
Yeah.
So.
But it's true, so it's it's fair. Shane H. Wilder.
Shane H. Wilder. Oh, first a 20 from Pop Culture Junkie. Brett, agree with you on screenwriting 100%, but this also has to do with the taste of the people who are green lighting projects.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of of that is their taste and what they think is going to bump their score. Like, I hate to use ESG as like this like catch-all term for like, it's a boogeyman in a lot of respects, but they love the headlines that come with green lighting certain types of projects and promoting certain types of ideas. Certainly we're seeing that right now with what's going on with The Acolyte. Like something like that gets greenlit because it conveys a certain message through its stars and through its and the lady who wrote it, through Leslie Headland, and they love that. And that's fine, but that's not good writing. I don't know what it is. It's corporate slop with a diversity tinge.
You could reveal to me that it was written by AI. I would not be shocked. The lines were that generic. It was just so bad.
And like, if you watched our review, it's really funny. Like my critique has nothing to do with the story. It has everything to do with every actor looks like they've never acted a day in their life.
But the story also
except
sucks.
for Lee Jung-jae was the only actor who actually did a good job.
The story sucks.
Yeah.
But I won't even get into spoilers because, you should watch the review. Shane H. Wilder said, male friendship and bonding is different. If men don't insult each other, then we wouldn't think we don't like each other.
It's important to be able to, it's also good for men, like what somebody said earlier about men not getting a lot of compliments. It's important for men to know how to bullshit with their friends because it's a part of what it means to be a guy. It is actually part of male identity. I always reference the meme when a girl says to her friends, like, oh my gosh, do I look fat in this dress? No, you look amazing. And a guy's like, do I look fat? He says, bro, I know 5 fat people and you're 4 of them. That's just the way guys are. Not everyone, and certainly not in the age of that guy on Twitter who talked about nourishing male friendships, which was my Vietnam reading that thread. Like, first of all, I hate the word nourishing because it's always listed by dorks who want to talk to you about microplastics and how the food supply in America has been poisoned. Even if it's true, I don't care. The word nourishing sucks. And it pisses me off. But that thread, I'm just like, bro, you're like I'm like, fine, you're right to want a certain type of back and forth and engagement with the people you choose to be friends with. All I'm saying is if that's what you're expecting from most dudes, you're not gonna get it.
Barking up the wrong tree, bro.
Like most of the time, what you're gonna get from men is the way that I would look at it, and I imagine that a lot of men would look at it is like, even in moments of tumultuous living, the ability for your friends to be able to bullshit with you may seem insensitive, but what it is it's a lifeline to the normal. It's like, even in the worst of moments, you can take the piss out of each other, and that allows you to realize that it's not going to be the end of the world, that everything is okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just ironic that guy was like complaining about his male friend not being sensitive enough to his trauma or whatever, and he was like, nourishing male friendships, blah, blah. Like, hey, he was just trying to give you like a gesture of kindness by buying you food.
His inability that's how he relates to you back in this situation. That's his gesture.
Like, why is that why is that insensitive? Whatever.
It was like when
he's not going to give you a therapy session.
It was like that thread where that guy said he cut off his friends because he had surgery and nobody checked on him. I'm like, bro, that is the most humiliating thing to admit in the entire world. Have some common sense. Suck it up.
It's like those people who post like inspirational quotes that are like, making moves in silence. Like I hate
there
that.
Is a certain amount, men should learn that there is a certain amount of benefit from suffering in silence.
There's a
not
benefit
suffering,
for pretty much everyone.
Not suffering in silence, but facing the world and all of the bad things that happen to you, taking it as it comes and trying to be special.
Thank you. That's why, like, I never found it believable that Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson were genuinely friends. Because after Chris Tyson comes out as trans and everything, and you have to post the flag and you have to be supportive publicly and make a post about how you accept Chris with a K for who she is, blah, blah, blah. That is just not how male friends talk to each other.
Correct. And look, and I'm not saying that you have to be internally perfect all the time. I'm saying that outward stoicism benefits you. No one's going to be that way all the time. No one's going to be perfect. But I can tell you right now that whether they'll admit it or not, women will be turned off by you not being that way, by outward emotional behavior and things like that. They might not even know it's not attractive to them, but it won't be.
Yeah. Ick. It's the ick. I'm glad that we actually have that word now. Because what did people say for the ick before the ick?
It's one of the rare examples where it's good to have a word for it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, like the polyamory shouldn't exist. That word shouldn't exist.
Yeah, no, but the ick is definitely a useful term. Okay.
Oh, I like this one from Victor White. Men sometimes. Hey, you good, bro? Yes. Unironically, yes. Everything all right? Cool.
Yeah. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Mr. Joker said, was watching the DreamWorks movie Monsters vs. Aliens. Susan Ginormica, okay, has side bangs, ghostly hair, big eyes. I thought she looks like Cartoon Mary.
Maybe she is.
It's been a long time since I watched that movie, but I think I know what you're talking about. Greg Duvier said, I find PCC nourishing. Is that okay, Brett?
At least it's not in reference to food and talking about, oh, why would you go eat this fast food when you can nourish your body and eat? It's actually more the word nourishing rather than nourish. It's eat nourishing food. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Do you feel that way when you see Alex Clark tweet about how toxic food dyes are?
I love Alex Clark, but yes, I do. If you use the word nourishing, then
Let me enjoy my DiGiorno's.
Yeah, like, sorry, I'm going to eat unhealthy and you can piss off.
Well, I'm sure she knows that, but...
Well, no, it's rarely her that I ever see that from. It's always some crunchy person on the internet.
The crunchiness is getting to be too much. Like, apparently you can't... This is why Facebook mom groups are incredibly dangerous places for women mentally. Like, they will drive anyone insane. But I heard that there's, like, fear-mongering about if your kid's car seat gets wet, or if it gets dirty or something.
Yep.
Like, if they piss themselves in their car seat, you can't wash it. Because if you wash the car seat thing, the fabric... then that will take away the fire retardant that's on the fabric, and your child is going to melt to death should you ever get into a terrible car accident. So basically, you're murdering your child if you don't want them to sit in their own piss. Like, and there are just countless examples of that type of crazy fear-mongering on these, like, Facebook, like, forums or whatever for moms. They're incredibly toxic and mentally ill.
Guy, they're trying to own me with using nourishing. It's not going to work now, guys, because you're saying it directly to me, so it doesn't work. I have to read it.
It needs to be in its own
it needs
context.
to be in earnest, in context to something else.
Yeah.
And it's.
I posted a picture of my Zins and my sparkling water, and I said nourishing my body to get to you.
Even that would be fine because it's in jest.
But PCC is nourishing.
Yes, it is.
For the mind and body. Dreamcast Knight said the word was disdain for ick. Is it? I guess. I would associate that more with, like, hatred, which I don't think is associated with the ick. Shane H. Wilder said, I nourish myself with Taco Bell, as you should.
Again, see, this would never bother me. It would be in the context of somebody telling everyone else that they should conceive the most convoluted health plan, meal plan ever, and then tell you you're a bad person if you don't do it. Eat nourishing foods. Oh, God.
It's usually the malnourished people who are talking about nourishment as much.
Look, and I freely admit that it's me not liking the picture back at me because it's pointing to something that I don't do well, which is eat healthy. So there's probably a little bit of my own insecurities in there, just a little bit, but I hate the word. There aren't really other words that do like somebody said it's moist, like nourishing for bread is moist for women. Moist, yeah.
Doesn't really get to me. I can't think of a word that really bothers me that much. It's probably boundaries. Any therapy speak, I think, is what bothers me the most.
Love bombing.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of them. Usually it's boundaries, though. Like, people use that as an excuse for anything. DCNC said, nourish yourself with those Sheets tacos, pal.
I haven't had them in a very long time.
You swore off the Sheets tacos.
Don't really. I think we had Sheets like a couple of days ago, and that was the first time in a while.
It's too expensive.
Yes,
I decided it's just not worth
that's
it.
That's literally what it was. It's like I was like looking at the money I was spending. I'm like, bro, you gotta
It's
cut.
a problem.
You gotta cut back. You gotta cut back.
Yeah.
Be responsible. Don't eat Sheets tacos every day, because you don't just get the I don't just get the food. Then I end up buying something in the store. It's not good.
I think we're all caught up on the super
Well,
chats.
we're gonna hang for at least 10 more minutes so that people don't yell at us like they normally do if we sign off early.
It's literally so hard to be a podcaster.
They'll take that seriously too. Rick C says moist is a horrible word. Moist doesn't
It's
bother
really
me.
not. I feel like that just became a meme and everyone believed it.
Yeah.
Perpetuity is a great word, and I don't know why you're saying that as an example.
In perpetuity. Like
in perpetuity.
like
perpetuity.
Yeah.
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 I don't mind it.
In the chat, they're arguing about movies in the chat.
Disestablishmentarianism.
Yes. Okay. So I was watching. It's funny they mentioned that word. So there's an episode of the show Leverage where they're trying to take down this corrupt businessman, and they have to find a way in to get this information from him. And the only way to do that is to get close to his son, who's just like he's got nothing interesting about him. He's not good at anything. So they have to like go and sneak in to work at his school. And they're trying to find something he's good at so that they can drag the dad's on house arrest. And the only way to get him out of the house is to get him to be able to go to like a school function. But the kid's name is Widmark and he's not good at anything. So they're trying to like astroturf him to be good at something so that they can get the dad out of the house.
Incredibly convoluted.
And they try to make him good at a spelling bee, where they give him all these easy words, and then there's like a little girl who's given like infinitely harder words, and she gets all of them right, and he can barely spell. Like they're like flood, 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 and then they go to her and then they use that word.
I would get that one.
Yeah, and it's just really, really funny because they do all sorts of words like that, and then she gets all of them right, and it's this prolonged clip of this person having to spell this really, really long word slowly.
Do you think spelling bees are stupid?
I mean, they'll be obsolete one day because your phone spell checks for you now.
Well, true. They didn't stop teaching spelling, did they?
Remember when they were like, you're gonna need to learn this math because you're not gonna have a calculator in your pocket? Were they ever like, you need to learn I before E except after C because you're not gonna have a dictionary or a thesaurus in your pocket?
I don't know what. I think that they never used the calculator thing on us because we already had the calculators
Yes,
in
for
our
me,
pockets.
that was more of a thing.
But they did say it just helps you think logically, which is true.
Yes.
I just wasn't good at it because I'm a whammon. I'm just kidding. Shane H. Wilder said, I knew someone who would get physically ill at the word milk. Yeah, hilarity ensued. LOL. What? Just the word?
I get made fun of because milk is one of those ones that I still kind of milk. I sometimes will accidentally say milk.
Is that why the Full Send podcast guys, they call themselves the Nelk Boys?
Oh, I don't know where
because they're Canadian.
Or bag.
Wait, how do you say it?
I don't even know. I'd have to.
You don't know?
I get made fun of.
Try to say it like the way that feels right in your soul.
Then I'll be trying to correct myself as we go. Yeah.
Okay.
Bag the groceries.
Bag. But you want to say bag.
Yes. It's very Minnesotan of me. It's very Frostback.
Corey Anderson said, moist doesn't bother me. Okay. I'm not going to read that. Zach Yandel said, did you check out What If Alt Hist Brett? Good guess?
I haven't looked yet. Look, I've got a growing list of things that I need to look into guest-wise because we need to expand for Fridays. But
I don't want to invite all, like, repeat guests. Yeah. I'm looking for new people, but there are only so many people in this space, and people who are available to travel in person. That's a huge ask for a lot of people.
Woden Shot says the quartering says it the same way. Bag. Yeah, because he's in Wisconsin. So that makes perfect sense. Midwest boys. Mm-hmm. That's the way it happens. Yeah, guys.
Let's just have Tucker Carlson on the show.
That would be... I'm sure we
do
could
that thing where he weirdly laughs at everything.
Yeah.
Have you heard his laugh?
Mm-mm.
It's like the
I mean,
weirdest thing about him. It makes me uncomfortable. I used to find it charming, but then I felt like he was overdoing it.
So John Z says, do they have to be in studio? Yes, we only do guests in studio. So they would have to be on the show.
I mean, Inverted World Live has been doing remote guests as far as I can tell. But they're having a huge amount of technical problems.
Yeah.
Which we don't want.
And we run on OBS, and we'd have to set up Streamlabs. We'd have to reset. It would be a whole thing that perhaps it's something we can think about.
We should definitely try in the future, but not to rely on it from now on. I don't want to exclusively do that. John Boebert said, "Hey Brent, top of 61 Fahrenheit today. Moist is okay."
What do you mean top of 61? 61 degrees Fahrenheit? Where? It's got to be warmer than that.
Definitely not.
It's not that here, that's for sure.
Sovereign
83.
Citizen said, "Say snow."
Snow.
How was he supposed to say?
How else would you say snow?
Snoo.
Snoo.
I don't know. Okay. High Voltage 75 said, "Mary, if you had to eat one or the other, a classic beef and cheddar sandwich from Arby's or a giant bowl of the sugariest garbage cereal on the market with milk, which do you choose?" It would be the cereal.
Is it?
100%. I mean, I never said that I don't like sugary cereal. I just retired that when I became an adult.
Oh yeah.
But I also like old people cereal more than I like the sugary stuff. Like the
Honey Bunches of Oats.
No, like Cheerios, just plain Cheerios. Or like
Apple Cinnamon Cheerios are really good.
Not even that. And what are they called? They're like these shredded wheat.
Oh yeah.
Biscuits.
Yeah, shredded wheat.
But not like the little pieces, like the big biscuit.
Okay.
And
it's just soggy.
It's just a soggy biscuit of wheat. And I love it. It makes me feel like I'm like a farm animal.
I will not
eating my hay.
On the farm.
Yeah.
I will not take the Arby's slander today.
It's not. At least it doesn't look good. I've never had it, but it doesn't look good, and you can't lie and say it does.
Didn't say it looked good.
DCNC said get Metatron on.
Yeah, that was the one that they were suggesting yesterday. We should look into that.
Okay, cool. I'll look into it. Shane H. Wilder said we used to say, "Do you want cookies and milk?"
Milk.
What?
It's like, okay, I still screw up nuclear all the time. I do. I don't care. Bite me.
What
nuclear.
Do you say? Nuclear. Oh.
I screw that up all the time. Nuclear. There it is.
Whatever.
Yeah. And I still get made fun of for figure, which I've spent like the last 6 months adjusting how I say it.
You say it in the mirror now, you're like, figure.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like, it actually halts the flow of the conversation when I say it, because I like actively.
You must say it a lot.
I've triggered my brain to correct myself mid-speech. So figures.
Corey Anderson said, "I live in East Maryland. I am a chief intelligence specialist in the Navy. More than happy to be a guest. LOL."
I mean, we're
looking for YouTubers.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
People who don't actually provide value to society.
Like us. Like, look, people always like think that like when we make these jokes that we're like somehow not including ourselves in this. We're including ourselves in this. There's a reason like why when we talk about the culture war, I always preface them like, look, I'm not looking to win any war. I'm just looking to give you something to watch for a couple of hours every day. If you got even the slightest semblance of enjoying it, even if that enjoyment was telling me I'm wrong, then I've done my job.
You really see a lot of people overinflating their own importance.
And part of that is because it builds, like, people want to feel like they're part of something and that's good for building an audience, but that's just not the way it happens here because that's just not how I feel about it. So just want to give you something to watch.
Said, "I literally had the shredded wheat biscuit, bacon, and eggs this morning. Goated breakfast."
Goated.
Indeed.
All right, guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done so already. Mary, there's one more right there.
From
Corey Anderson.
Oh, I know, Mary, I was joking. I'm rather boring. That's okay.
So am I. I'm plenty boring. Don't worry, bro.
Is that it? We're caught up?
That's it.
Okay. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at Mary Archived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also Mary Archived. And if you want to check out my appearance on Megyn Kelly's show, that's on my Twitter right now. And I think I put it on my Instagram story as well. I think it should be done premiering by now, so you're free to go and watch.
There's a 20 there from the Manic Mustache.
Oh, is it... Wait, I don't see the whole thing. He said, is it Jay that... Do you mean to say gay? Is it gay that I lie to my wife and tell her I'm watching Prawn when I'm actually watching a guy chisel a piece of brick so he can have the perfect keystone while I'll wonder if my forearms will ever look that good?
Look,
that was a lot.
I don't know about the forearms part.
I don't know about the gay part either.
Like, I watch a lot of YouTubers that are people that are just creating things. I watch a lot of shorts and videos on woodworking, cobblers, people fixing and mending shoes and stuff like that. I love all of that stuff. Firearms maintenance, gunsmithing, stuff like that. So you can watch whatever you want, my friend. There's one more.
Do we have more?
John Barrett says,
Barrett's
caught up.
Caught up. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at Brett Dasovic on both Instagram and on Twix. This show is here Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify if you would prefer to listen rather than watch this show. And if you want to follow the show on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook, and not TikTok because we were banned, at Pop Culture Crisis, and on Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Guys, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. You should go and check out that review for episodes 1 and 2 of The Acolyte, and we will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.